I knew he was dying for 3 months before I told him I was sorry. I kept thinking tomorrow would be easier, that the words would come out smoother if I just waited one more day. But tomorrow I'd wake up and think the same thing, and the day after that, and the day after that. When I was young, I thought love was what you felt. I didn't know it was also what you said, what you admitted, what you repaired while you still had the chance. I met him when I was 22. He had brown eyes and he laughed at everything I said, even when I wasn't trying to be funny. I thought that meant we understood each other. I thought that was enough. We got married 6 months later. Everyone said it was too fast, but we didn't care. We had the rest of our lives. That's what people say when they're young and stupid about time. The first 10 years were easy. We fought sometimes, but never about anything that mattered. He'd forget to call when he was working late. I'd get mad over dishes left in the sink. Normal things, small things, the kind of things you think don't count. But they do count, because small things said over and over become the language of a marriage. And we were speaking a language I didn't realize was unkind until it was too late to learn a new one. I stopped kissing him goodbye in the mornings. I don't remember when, it just happened. One day I was running late and I didn't, and then it became the routine. He never said anything about it. I thought that meant it didn't matter to him. I know now he was just learning not to expect it anymore. He stopped reaching for my hand when we walked. I noticed that one. I remember thinking about it, but I didn't ask why. I told myself we were just getting older, that people get comfortable, that romance fades, and that's normal. What I didn't understand then was that comfort and neglect can look the same from the outside, but they feel completely different when you're the one being ignored. There were years in the middle where I forgot to look at him, really look at him. I'd see him across the kitchen or sitting in his chair reading the paper, and my eyes would just pass over him like he was furniture, like he'd always been there and always would be. I took for granted that he was permanent. He'd try sometimes. He'd ask if I wanted to take a drive on Sunday afternoons. Just the two of us. No particular destination. I'd say I was too tired, or I had things to do, or maybe next week. Next week came and went again. He stopped asking after a while. I was 47 when he told me he felt lonely. We were sitting at the kitchen table. It was a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were trash day, and I was annoyed because he'd forgotten to take the bins out again. He said it so quietly, I almost missed it. He said he felt like we were roommates, like I didn't see him anymore. I told him that was ridiculous. I told him I was right there. I told him he was being dramatic. I didn't ask him what he meant. I didn't ask him when he started feeling that way. I didn't ask him what I could do. I just got defensive, because that's what you do when someone tells you a truth that makes you look at yourself and you don't like what you see. I remember he just nodded. He got up from the table and went into the other room. I sat there, feeling angry, feeling misunderstood, feeling like I was the one who should be hurt. I never thought about how much courage it took for him to say those words, to admit he was hurting in a marriage that looked fine from the outside. Nothing changed after that conversation. We kept going the same way we'd been going. He stopped trying to tell me things. I stopped noticing he'd stopped. We weren't fighting. That's what I told myself. We're fine. Some marriages are quiet. Some people don't need to talk all the time. But quiet isn't the same as peaceful. I know that now. The silence in our house wasn't restful. It was heavy. It was full of things unsaid, full of hurts that never got named, full of distance that grew so slowly I didn't notice until it was a canyon between us. Years went by. Our daughter got married. We became grandparents. We went to dinners and family gatherings, and everyone thought we were solid, the couple that made it 63 years together. That's what people celebrated. But I was celebrating a number, not the feeling of it. I remember our 60th anniversary. Our daughter threw us a party. There were speeches about lasting love and commitment, about what a beautiful example we were. I smiled through all of it. But I kept thinking about that Tuesday when he told me he was lonely. I kept thinking about all the Sunday drives I never took with him, all the mornings I walked past him like he wasn't there. He gave a speech that night. He thanked me for 60 years. He said I was the love of his life. Everyone cried. I cried too, but not for the reason they thought. I cried because I knew I hadn't earned those words, because I knew he meant them, and I hadn't loved him back the same way. Not really. Not in all the small moments when it would have mattered most. He got sick when he was 89. Lung cancer. He never smoked, but it didn't matter. The doctor said he had maybe 6 months, maybe less. I thought that would change things. I thought fear would make me say all the things I'd never said, that facing the end would make me brave enough to be honest. But fear just made me quieter. I kept thinking I'd break down if I started talking, that I wouldn't be able to stop, that it would make everything worse. So I stayed practical. I scheduled appointments. I made sure he took his medicine. I brought him water and adjusted his pillows and asked if he was comfortable. But I didn't say I was sorry. I didn't tell him about the mornings I regretted, the Sunday drives I wished I'd taken, the night he said he was lonely and I made it about defending myself instead of hearing him. I thought taking care of his body was the same as loving him. I thought being present in the room was enough. But you can be in the same room as someone and still be absent. I was absent for years, decades maybe. And in those final months, when I could have said something, I chose safety over truth. I chose my own comfort over his peace. He got worse quickly. The 6 months the doctor predicted turned into 4, then 3. There was an afternoon in his last week when he was still conscious, still able to talk a little. He was looking out the window, just staring, and he said my name. I came over to the bed. I asked if you needed anything. Water, medicine, another pillow. He just looked at me for a long time. And then he said, it was a good life. I said yes, it was. But I knew what he was really saying. He was saying goodbye. He was saying he forgave me for all of it, even though I'd never asked for forgiveness. And I just stood there. I nodded. I squeezed his hand. But I didn't say I was sorry. I didn't say I wished I'd done better. I didn't say any of the things that were screaming inside me. I told myself there'd be another moment. A better moment, when I was calmer, when I could find the right words. But there wasn't another moment. He died on a Sunday morning. I was sitting next to his bed. He wasn't conscious anymore. Hadn't been for 2 days. I held his hand, and I finally said it. I said I was sorry. I said I loved him. I said I wished I'd been better. I said I saw him now. That I understood, that I'd wasted so much time being afraid of my own feelings that I forgot to think about his. But he couldn't hear me, and I have to live with that. People ask me what 63 years of marriage taught me. They want me to say something wise, something about patience or compromise or choosing love every day. But what I learned is that you can be with someone your whole life and still lose them long before they die. I lost him in all those small moments I thought didn't matter. All those conversations I avoided because I was tired or busy or proud. All those times I chose silence because speaking felt like too much work. I thought we had time. That's the lie everyone tells themselves. There's always tomorrow to say it, tomorrow to fix it, tomorrow to try harder. But tomorrow is how you waste a life. I'm 95 now. I've outlived him by 6 years. People say I'm lucky to have had him as long as I did, and I was. I know I was. But I also know I didn't love him the way I could have, the way he deserved. And knowing that doesn't get easier. It gets heavier. Every day is carrying that weight. Every day is waking up and remembering that I had 63 years to get it right, and I didn't. I think about him every day. Not the big memories, not our wedding or the birth of our daughter or our anniversaries. I think about Tuesday mornings, the ones where I rushed past him without saying anything, where I was so focused on what needed to get done that I forgot to look at his face. I think about Sunday afternoons when he wanted to take a drive and I said I was too busy. I think about that night he told me he was lonely and I got defensive instead of curious, instead of caring. I'd give anything to have one of those mornings back, to stop at the door, to turn around and kiss him and tell him I see him, that he matters, that I'm sorry for making him feel invisible in his own home. But I don't get that. What I get is the rest of my life knowing I had the chance and I didn't take it. Not once. Not even at the very end when he was dying and there was nothing left to lose. I was still protecting myself, still choosing comfort over honesty, still believing that silence was safer than truth. I was wrong about all of it. The hardest part isn't the missing him. It's the knowing. It's living with the person I was, the wife I was, the way I treated someone who deserved better. You think you have time. You think the person you love will always be there to hear what you need to say. You think tomorrow is promised. It isn't. And one day you'll be sitting where I am, looking back at all the small moments you thought didn't count, all the words you didn't say because you were scared or tired or convinced there'd be another chance. There won't be. The person across from you at breakfast, the one you barely look at anymore, the one whose hand you stopped holding, they won't be there forever. And when they're gone, you won't remember the bills you paid or the errands you ran or all the important things you were too busy doing. You'll remember the moments you walked past them, the times they tried to reach you and you pulled away, the silence you chose because speaking felt too hard. That's what you'll carry. I know you probably won't listen. I didn't listen either when I was younger. Someone told me once that you can't appreciate love until you've lost it, and I thought that was the saddest thing I'd ever heard. Now I know it's just true. I can't go back. I can't undo the years I wasted being silent. I can't tell him I'm sorry in a way that matters. I can't take those Sunday drives or kiss him goodbye on Tuesday mornings or ask him what he meant when he said he was lonely. All I can do is sit here and know and carry it. Love isn't complicated, but pride is. Fear is. Stubbornness is. The belief that you have time is. And by the time you figure that out, the person you needed to tell is gone. I'm 95 years old. I had 63 years with a man who loved me, and I still ran out of time.